Good evening. Welcome to Fine Print. I'm Molly Gambhir. 40 personnel of India's Central Reserve Police Force have been killed today. Terrorists rammed an explosives-laden vehicle into the bus that the personnel were travelling in when they were on their way from Jammu to Srinagar. The incident took place in Jammu and Kashmir's Pulwama. Jaish-e-Mohammed has claimed responsibility. This is one of the worst terror strikes in recent years. It is the deadliest attack on security forces in Kashmir in close to 2 decades. One of the worst attacks since the 2001 Jammu and Kashmir Legislative Assembly car bombing. More than 2,500 personnel were travelling in the convoy of 78 vehicles when the terrorists struck them on the Srinagar-Jammu highway in Avantipura. The area is about 20 kilometers from Srinagar city. Dozens others have been injured. Many are said to be in a critical condition. It is believed that an improvised explosive device or IED caused that explosion. Gunshots were reported from the scene soon after the blast occurred. The injured have been moved to the army base hospital in Srinagar.
It shows that there is local involvement. I think we have to combine combating them on an armed level, because that has to be done, along with combating them on an ideological level, because this is these suicide bombers are being recruited through an ideology, basically the offshoot of Salafism, which is being spread in Kashmir. That ideology is also motivating them, and the kind of images which come on WhatsApp, which motivates and these Kashmiri young and converts them into or pushes them towards suicide bombing. So I think you have to take control on both. There was talk earlier about identification of 80 WhatsApp groups, handlers of WhatsApp groups by the intelligence agencies who were motivating Kashmiri youth to move towards terrorism.
In 2016, 4 heavily armed terrorists targeted an Indian army base, killing 18 soldiers in Uri. The Indian army had responded with a cross-border surgical strike, destroying several Pakistani installations. Following today's attack, Prime Minister Modi has spoken to the Home Minister Rajnath Singh and top officials. Rajnath Singh has cancelled his Bihar trip, which was scheduled for tomorrow. He has spoken to the governor of Jammu and Kashmir and will also be visiting the seat tomorrow.
It's an extremely unfortunate and sad day when we lose our brave soldiers to such a dastardly attack by obviously Pakistan-based terrorist groups. However, their sacrifice will not go in vain. Our brave soldiers are empowered by the government to take whatever action they wish to take. In fact, it is their bravery and their action that has led to the elimination of many dreaded terrorists and reduction of terrorist activities in the state of Jammu and Kashmir.
The Jaish-e-Mohammed has claimed responsibility for the attack that killed the CRPF men. Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorist Adil Ahmad was driving the car laden with explosives that rammed into the CRPF bus. Adil Ahmad, also known as Vakas Commando of Gundibag, joined the terror outfit last year. He was from Kakapura. Ahmad released a video which he claimed was his last message for the people of Kashmir. Wion World as One has decided not to air the video and glorify a terrorist. He is armed with rifles and standing in front of what appear to be Jaish-e-Mohammed banners. The video also this attack also coming months after Jaish's operational chief Khalid was killed in Baramulla. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi also tweeting soon after that attack. The attack on CRPF personnel in Pulwama is despicable. I strongly condemn this attack. The sacrifices of our brave security personnel shall not go in vain. The entire nation stands shoulder to shoulder with the families of the brave martyrs. May the injured recover quickly. That was the statement that was put out by the Prime Minister soon after that attack. Let's get in further details now from our correspondent Ishan Vani, who's been closely monitoring the developments. Ishan, first up, what is the latest that you can tell us at this point?
Well, advisor to the governor, K. Vijay Kumar, has put the number of the CRPF men killed in this particular suicide attack to 40. Now, this is one of the fatal attacks that has taken place in Kashmir since a long time. Another latest update is that the NIA team will be visiting this, the forensic team of NIA, which will be visiting the spot tomorrow. They'll be examining the material that has been used by these militants to carry out this deadly attack on the highway. Now, remember, as I reported earlier, this has been a strategic highway, and that is why there were a lot of checkpoints and also nakas put in place by the security forces. Security teams of the CRPF were also deployed. Now, an investigation will further take the investigation deep, and then it will be assessed that how these militants really were able to get on to this particular place despite having such security on this highway. At the same time, the Jaish has released a video of this person called as Adil. They said he's a commander of the group, which is a suicide squad of Jaish-e-Mohammed. Remember, Jaish has named several suicide squads, including by the name of Afzal Guru, whose anniversary just finished in the Kashmir Valley. And so this all this is being seen something as Jaish has been carrying out this attack. Now, this particular video, if I talk about that particular video, you can see this guy called Adil is saying that this is his final message, and after that he will be doing this particular act. Now, this has seen the condemnation from all covertors of the society. Tomorrow also Rajnath Singh has cancelled his visit to the Patna. He'll be arriving in Kashmir Valley to assess the situation and monitor it personally. There will be meetings held with the several top brass of the police, CRPF and other agencies. There was an input from the IB to the police, including the different police personnel in the Kashmir Valley, that there could be an attack. And before 26 January, there was another input with the IB that they may try to strike on this highway, as they have been trying since a long time. Now, this particular attack, 40 Jawans have lost their lives. A sad day in the Kashmir Valley. At the same time, we are seeing that this particular attack is big if we compare it to that of Uri, after which India launched surgical strikes on these militant camps across the border. Now, we'll have to wait and watch. There has been condemnation from the US Embassy as well in India, but we'll have to wait and watch what do the government, or the step forward taken by the Narendra Modi-led government.
Right, Ishan, you have been speaking with security personnel and with the authorities ever since the attack occurred. What have they told you? If you can elaborate in further details, as you just mentioned, that stretch where the attack took place, about 20 kilometers from Srinagar city, was believed to have been sanitized of terror activities. What exactly have the authorities said on that front? Because this is being viewed as a serious breach of security.
Well, absolutely. There are several top brass police personnel, CRPF personnel, IB and other agencies visiting the spot, checking that how this attack took place. Now, there will be an assessment made that how did this vehicle reach that particular place, despite the deployment and bunkers placed at several places. Remind you that after the attacks were frequent on these buses which were traveling from Jammu to Srinagar, CCTV cameras were installed on several of them. There's a team which has been laid to, walk with these men who come to Kashmir Valley. There is a specified team of the CRPF which leads the way forward after several attacks were carried on them. Despite that, this attack has been carried out, and there was specific instruction with the CRPF to remain alert and vigilant on these particular places, because this stretch has been something where different attacks have taken place from time to time. But remember, those have been hit and run cases, but this time around this has been a car which was laden with bombs and explosives and has gone and rammed into this particular convoy, which had several buses in it. Now, after the scene was cleared, now we saw that the several buses of these CRPF Jawans left from there. The shock was clearly evident from their faces. Several vehicles, the glasses of several vehicles were broken. So the shaken CRPF personnel were taken to a different location. But right now, several injured are being treated at 92 base hospital. At the same time, there is an assessment going on that how did this happen. We don't want to give out any operational details that what is happening and what the police is going to do further in the next 24 hours.
We're going to leave it there for the moment, Ishan. Thanks very much, though, for helping us better understand what the officials and the authorities have been telling you all this while over the last few hours. 40 CRPF personnel losing their lives in that dastardly attack. The security forces have, of course, begun investigating what's been one of the biggest terror attacks in recent years on Indian soldiers. As Ishan was telling us, those investigations will continue, but the politics has unfortunately already begun. No time was wasted. The Congress party stated that this is the 18th biggest terror attack under the Modi government. The Congress spokesperson was questioning the Kashmir policy of the Modi government just a short while after the incident occurred. Take a listen into what he said.
Modi ji, nation wants to know Why do you continue to compromise on national security in this fashion? After Uri, this is the biggest second terror attack on Indian soil. When will the 56 inches chest really grow forward to defend our borders and to defend our Jawans? Every day when we receive the dead bodies of our Jawan who have martyred themselves for defending our borders, for defending the Bharat Mata, Prime Minister Modi remains mum. Even today, as our Jawans fight the battle between life and death, Prime Minister Modi is a mute spectator and a silent spectator.
The government also responded to those allegations that have been made by the opposition, making it clear that the perpetrators will be dealt with an iron fist.
While calling themselves or describing themselves as mainstream politicians in Kashmir, tend to be apologetic about all these terror activities sponsored from across the Indian soil. And I have no hesitation to say that just as there should be no more leverage or no more leniency as far as seeking revenge for this act is concerned, there should also be an equal amount of taking to task those who, while living in India, seek ministerial berths through farcical elections by posing as mainstream politicians, and they day in and day night deliver such statements which tend to provide fodder to terrorism and which tend to embolden the powers that be in Islamabad. I think nowhere in the world do you come across a situation like this, or you come across such so-called intellectuals or these gentlemen with intellectual pretensions.
Meanwhile, the newly appointed General Secretary of the Congress Party, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, has also released a statement. Priyanka, in that statement, says she understands the pain of the families of the CRPF personnel. The Congress leader also demanded concrete steps from the government to ensure that such attacks do not happen in the future. Take a listen in also to what the former Chief Minister of the state of Jammu and Kashmir, Mehbooba Mufti, had to say.
ऐसी हालत में जहां इतने सारे लोग एकदम से जिनको जो शहीद किए जाएं और उनकी फैमिलीज़ का क्या हाल होगा, उनकी फैमिलीज़ पे जो इस वक्त जो उनकी फैमिलीज़ के ऊपर एक तूफ़ान आ गया है, कैसे संभालेंगे इसको। मैं उम्मीद करती हूं कि न सिर्फ मरकज़ी सरकार बल्कि तमाम जो मुल्क की हमारी जमातें हैं, सब मिलके इस मसले का कोई हल निकालें ताकि ये खून खराबा हमेशा के लिए बंद हो जाए।
And for further perspectives on that story, of course, leaving the politics aside, the investigations have already begun. But the manner in which the attack was carried out, for those perspectives, let's get in Rick C. Matthews, principal at the Matthews Group LLC Center for Counter-Terrorism Training. Thanks very much, Rick, for joining us here on Wion World is One. I don't know to what extent you've been able to listen into what our correspondent was telling us about the manner in which this attack has taken place. If you can share with us your initial reaction to what you have to say.
Well, my initial reaction, I've been listening to your broadcast and all, but the initial reaction is that this is what I would call typical to a mainstream terrorist attack. They used a vehicle-borne improvised explosive device, a pretty sizable one, with a suicide driver, apparently, that attacked the convoy. And these attacks in the past have been somewhat successful for terrorists. It's a pretty aggressive attack, put it that way. It's hard to defend against these because, again, the convoys run for some distance. It's hard to totally secure the entire route of any convoy like that, and that's why these kinds of attacks have been used in the past. So it's successful for their part. It's difficult to defend against. It's certainly terroristic and very, very disturbing to see these kinds of things happen over there.
Right, and this is a Pakistan-based terror outfit, Jaish-e-Mohammed, which has claimed responsibility. A number of attacks in recent years and months that have been claimed by that terror outfit. But also speaking a little bit more about how this stretched, this particular area where the attack took place, Rick. was sanitized, is what the authorities have been saying. And the manner in which this CRPF bus came under the attack from behind, this explosive-laden vehicle ramming into that bus from behind.
Well, that's correct. I mean, and you know, this has again been used before by other terrorist organizations. When you sanitize an area, you basically have ensured that there are no improvised explosive devices fixed in the area. There's none standing there. There's none in place as the route as convoy goes by. What that doesn't ensure is that something can't be brought in at the last moment, as happened here. And so the security forces go through and they do what they're supposed to. They secure the area, and then at the last minute, a vehicle is driven in, past everything else, and detonates when it hits the convoy. Again, very difficult to defend against that because of the type of roadway, what's around it, and those kinds of, very difficult to defend against that kind of an attack.
Right, we're going to leave it there for the moment. Rick, thanks very much indeed for sharing your perspectives on that terror attack. We have, of course, been getting you the minute-by-minute developments coming in from the state of Jammu and Kashmir, where 40 personnel of India's Central Reserve Police Force have lost their lives today in that disorderly attack that took place in Jammu and Kashmir's Pulwama. This is one of the worst attacks in recent years, the worst one in 2 decades in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. That CRPF bus coming under attack as that explosives-laden vehicle rammed into it. The Jaish-e-Mohammed has claimed responsibility. We'll, of course, keep a close eye on the latest coming in from the state of Jammu and Kashmir regarding that attack.